So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Eazy Conversations. Thanks a lot to everyone who listened to the last episode featuring the homie Matt and I. Hope you enjoyed listening to us share some of our favorite thriller movies, really break down the genre, and give you some good recommendations to enjoy on this, oddly enough, quite gray looking day at the time of recording. So, for episode 159 of Eazy Conversations, I'm extremely excited, of course, to be back in the studio virtually with the homie Matt. Say what's up to the people.
What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a great day right now, enjoying summer. Really enjoyed the last episode, Eric. It was really fun. Today's episode should be like super chill and relaxed, and it can go anywhere. And why don't you let everyone know what we're going to be exploring today, Eric?
Yeah, so for this one, we're going to be going over just our general plans and things we want to accomplish over the summer months coming up. So we've done a few summer episodes where we've reminisced on the different times in our lives where summer meant different things, right? With the summer vacation. So if you're a newer listener, maybe you can go back. I believe episode 63 will have what you're looking for, and there's a few others along the way. The best things of summer, the bracket that we did with Andy, Mart, and Klasin a few summers ago, just outlining the best things of summer. You'll recall the Saloon Bros Beer Pong tournament made an appearance there, shot down pretty early, but just stuff to look back at if you want to go over those kind of summer episodes. For this one, we're really talking summer 2025. This is going to be a time capsule episode too, and we look back at it a few years from now to go over what we wanted to do over the summer. So, Matt, anything that you've maybe already done that you had planned for the summer that you want to discuss, or short-term goals that you want to do this year? Like, kick us off with what the plans are for the summer.
All right. Just want to, first of all, say you took the words right out of my mouth, Eric. Time capsule. This is what I was going to say. Like, these episodes are great because in 10 years, we'll be like, what was I doing in 2025? Even for episode 63 and the bracket episode, like, I like that. I love these episodes for that reason. So I'm excited to get into it. You know, the whole show in a way is a time capsule, their whole podcast. So it's pretty awesome. I'm gonna go with stuff like that I have done already that were like goals I had this winter that I'm like, okay, as soon as it gets nice outside, I'm gonna start doing these things. I have a lot of stuff written down. Well, several things written down. Anyways, I'm gonna go with stuff I've already started doing. The first thing I wanted to get accomplished this year, which I've never done in the past, is like a regularly routine or scheduled washing of my car outside. I've never done this before, routinely, regularly, and it's been great. I'm not one of those guys that's going to be outside every single day, hose out, polishing the car and waxing it like you see in some movies. But I have been like cleaning it almost every week, maybe every second week, weather permitting, because I'm not going to clean it right before it rains. And it's been good. Like, my car looks shiny, and I don't know. This is the first car that, like, this is the most expensive car I bought. Like, this is my, I'm pride of ownership, basically, Eric, and I keep it shiny and clean. Cleaning it once on the inside, the first nice day, detailing the inside, and now I can just keep washing the outside. So, like, car washes was the first thing I wrote down, Eric. What's your car wash game looking like? I'm going to get into, after you respond, get into like the different things I bought for it and get into more details.
Yeah, no, I like that. And again, this brings me back to the summer bracket episode where Mart actually made a big push for the car wash as I believe, manly thing to do outside. You're just out there
Right.
putting some the work on your car, making sure it's looking good for the onlookers to see. And it's really for you, right? Like, you feel some pride driving around in a cleaner car. You don't want dust particles to accumulate, create a crust on top of especially if you're driving around in a black or white car. It really stands out if you haven't applied the proper soap and water mixed to it. So me, and I think I said it that last time we talked about this as well, don't really wash my car, maybe once per summer at most. Like, I don't even think I washed my car last summer, to be honest. So mine, I mean, and I feel like I can kind of get away with my car. It's a light silver car, so you're not really seeing if it's that dirty or not. Maybe, yeah, there's some
Right.
fruit flies or mosquitoes caught on the dash or in the license plate area. but there's not a whole lot. And then bird poo, of course. But I just let Mother Nature wash that off for me and apply the energy elsewhere. But I will wash inside more than outside, right? Like my car, it
Right.
tends to get pretty dirty. Like I just leave like protein bar wrappers in there, receipts, golf balls, teas, stuff just kind of everywhere in there. There's an M&M that's been on the passenger seat for like at least 8 months at the time of recording, so that should really have been discarded a long time ago. But anyways, so yeah, car wash routine not there at all right now, but I think down the line it is something that I should incorporate. I wanted to ask you, Matt, what are you driving these days? Like, what's the new car? Because I don't think I've seen it yet, so I want to know like, what's the car that's getting this diligent washing.
Yeah, so last year in August, I bought a used Honda Civic. It's a Honda Civic 2020, and it's blue.
Okay.
That's why, like, the blue really pops after it's clean, and this is the most expensive car I've ever bought, even though it was used. And I'm taking care of this freaking thing, and I'm hoping it's gonna last longer. And I do a lot of highway driving, Eric, for work, and like it does. I do get a lot of bugs in my windows get dirty really easily. So I just bought I didn't go full crazy, guys. Like just I have a bucket, a sponge, some soap. I have a glass cleaner. I have my hose out there. I have a lot of towels. I dry it off pretty quickly so I don't get streaks. I'm not out there 3 hours doing this thing. I'm there an hour tops. I know it's going to get ruined. It starts raining or something. It doesn't stay clean that long, but I'm just hoping regularly doing this will make the car last longer. And, spraying underneath too to clean all the winter stuff off of there, the salt.
Nice.
This could also be accomplished if I just drive out the car wash. This could be done in 2 minutes, but then I'm spending more money in the long run. So it's nice to be outside in the sun, do this quickly before doing my other outdoor chores, because this is a chore at the end of the day, right? But I'm hoping, we talked about routines and stuff. If I'm outside with the music on, doing something that's necessarily like a chore, but I make it enjoyable by associating it with also I'm listening to a podcast or music while doing it, which is my strategy when I do a workout, right? Like the Atomic Habits book showed us, associate doing something fun with something you're not looking forward to doing, and then you're tricking your brain right there. So yeah, car wash is my first thing, Eric. I'll stop rambling on. We got many other things to talk about.
No, I like that for sure. And yeah, you mentioned a few good things in there that I would touch on too, where a theme for me of this summer is rather than paying someone to do it for you, is just taking it on yourself and learning how to do different things, saving money, and then also acquiring new skills to help you down the road where you never really need to rely on people for these services that you can just acquire yourself and then do going forward. So that's kind of a theme for a lot of the stuff that I've written down for things that I want to do this summer. The first one I could highlight is one that we just started getting into, Andy and I, is better lawn maintenance for our house. So this is our now third year in this house that we've bought in 2023. There's going to be 2 full years in July. But we never really cared all that much for the lawn per se. We had a lot of bad weeds, I guess, which we did pluck them, of course, but there was no replenishing of the well with grass seeds, topsoil, which in this year our hand was more forced to get into this because we also did a renovation in our backyard last summer where we had concrete poured to make a patio space in the backyard. And what this ended up doing, giving us a beautiful patio area, there was also now a bit of residue, concrete, and dirt that was accumulated in the back of our backyard that also stayed there throughout the winter and just compacted down and killed the grass there, basically. So this left an uneven portion in our backyard as well, like a big slope. So what we ended up doing is getting a rake, some shovels, get the spade into the dirt, move the dirt around, create some fluffiness. I think that's the official word that they use for planting grass seeds. And then got some topsoil, grass seeds, moved that all around, mixed the soil together, evened it out more. And then and I'm telling you, watching this grass grow has been one of my favorite hobbies of all time, which may make me sound like the biggest loser there is, but I'm just out there at the windowsill watching those blades of grass grow, and I'm ecstatic watching it do so. It's so fun to see where it was all barren wasteland, and now there's these mossy patches of beautiful, vibrant greens popping out of the soil, and it's like I said, a beautiful sight to see. I just go out there, and obviously it's not perfect. Like there's still, I think this is going to be, we're in it for the long run here. Years of every year plant new grass seeds, more topsoil, and hopefully we're filling out the patches like me when I try to grow a beard and make it a little fuller each and every year. So that's kind of the first thing for me is growing grass has just been like injected in my veins. I eat it up. And it feels great. Obviously, we're still plucking there's a ton of bad weeds out there. Like that's gonna be a forever battle. But watching the grass come in has been really rewarding. And again, it's something we easily probably could have paid somebody to do. Like, hey, we just want new grass. And maybe like 10 years from now, that might be the outcome. But right now, we're trying to do it ourselves, and it's been really fun. That's my first one.
Well, I love that, Eric. I love the whole theme of doing it yourself to save money, and it is 10 times more rewarding, right? Maybe 100 times more rewarding. I'm glad I don't do this at all. Like my lawn myself is like just try to survive because it's like, you know, almost 2 acres of grass. So it's like I just cut it and like the weeds. I'm never winning that battle unless I quit my job and did that full time. I'm glad. Eric. You're laughing. We're laughing at like you staring at your grass grow. That's super. Like that's a great feeling. You know, you put in all that freaking hard work and then you see the rewards. That's good in anything. You know. Yeah. I'm glad. Yeah. I need to. Like you said, you had concrete pouring. You're gonna have a patio. That's awesome. I'd love to see that. Like the end result. Like, is it all like done back there, Eric? Like, what's the backyard looking like now?
So yeah, we have a very large area in our backyard that is suitable for like. That's another thing we've done recently. We set up our table, like our kind of patio setup, where we have a round table. We took out a few chairs. We went and bought like an umbrella, I guess, to put in the middle for the rain. And I mean, I could just get into my next one then, which is something else we've had on our patio area, which we had in a different spot in the backyard last year, but our raised garden beds. So we have 2 of those hanging out on the patio area. And this year we tried a different setup to support our tomatoes, where we kind of created like a tent-esque setup with small pieces of wood that go obviously like a tent, and then there's a beam hanging across and rope that we attached to our tomato plants from underneath. So the rope goes into the soil under the plant, and it's kind of a guiding post or guiding post, I guess, for the tomato to grow alongside and kind of wrap around it. We might have to add additional support beams around it as it gets bigger, but that's kind of a hack Andy found online. So we've got tomato plants set up, and then cucumbers, lettuce, a few different peppers, so poblano and jalapenos. And so that'll just be my other point. Wow. Compared to last year, which was our first year trying to garden in these raised beds, we've decided that less is more. And yeah, even though it sounds like I listed a few vegetables there, less plants in each bed. Last year we had like 6 cherry tomato plants and it was out of control. The heirloom tomato plants did not have the proper support system to keep the plant up. It was collapsing upon itself. These plants get enormous. So we've learned lessons from last year and try to, again, less is more setup, an easier set of vegetables to grow, and then put some different vegetables in pots. So we have radishes in another pot, a few herbs in another, along those same lines. So gardening, less is more efficient, better support. That's kind of what we're looking for. And again, instead of buying these pesticide-ridden veggies at the supermarket, we're growing them in-house. And every time we take cherry tomatoes from the backyard, they taste delicious. And it's, like you said, it's rewarding, very satisfying. Nothing odd about it. It's just satisfying.
That's great to hear. I'm not going to I don't have anything garden wise on my list. I'm like I may have talked about in the past that I want to grow a garden, but I'm gonna be realistic. It ain't gonna happen this year for me. But I'm glad you're doing it, Eric. Yeah, I have other goals this year, and honestly, a garden's not like it's on the it's a long term goal for me. I have a list. Actually, I have a list on my fridge of short, midterm, and long term goals, and like garden isn't immediate.
Fair.
Which I mean, I use freaking vegetables and almost every meal I cook, right? And this is stuff that I wouldn't have to buy. So there was a huge benefit there. Um, Saving money, and they're just better tasting, like you said. You have a nice setup, what you described, so that's cool. Yeah, and you're not going crazy, right? You're just picking the few things that you want to grow and going with it. I love it. Yeah, so you've said I'm gonna go on my next one. My next one is not um, outdoor related. You know, when we proposed this idea for the pod, I'm like, do I do all like outdoorsy summer? Some of these stuff is like stuff you can do all year round, but it's still like a summer goal for me. So I wrote them. I included them. Okay, my next one, and we've already done this, but I want to do more. It's basically having game nights. It's nothing. I've never really done this in the past, where it's like have the same group of people and like having a scheduled day to go over and do a game night. But we've done this with Mackenzie's curling team, actually. She curls every Monday night, and like in the winter, and her team proposed like, hey, why don't we meet every Monday or second Monday? Probably every second Monday it's gonna be, but to go to one of their houses or a different house every time and do a game night. We've only done one so far, Eric, but it was super fun. Yeah, it's a school night, like it's a night that like people are working the next day, but like it was still like I really enjoyed myself there, because honestly, what the reason I enjoyed myself is everyone brought games that I had never heard of, and it was kind of like out of my element. I like to win, right? We're both competitive people when it comes to board games, and I had never heard of any of these board games. So I'm like right away, I'm like shit, like I'm on. I want to do well, and it was super fun. We went over drinks, a bit of food, but mostly these board games that I had never heard of. Freaking time flies by. It's unreal. I wish I could do more of these. I love playing board games, and I think it's the social aspect too. We don't really get to hang out with other couples all that often, and this was just super fun. I recommend it for everybody. You don't have to watch. I don't have to be watching a movie or a TV show all the time. Interact with other people playing a board game. That's a very cute. For those who are watching on YouTube, your cat just adorable. Taking the spotlight from you, Eric. I love it.
That's what she does.
She's just chilling there. Sorry for those listening. Anyways, yeah, game nights. I highly recommend it. I've done it, and I want to do more of them.
So speaking of the YouTube, Matt, I'm not sure what is going on. Like I could hear what you're saying, but the audio was a bit like it sounded like. Is there something on your phone or your mic just gonna? It's distorting it a bit. I'll cut this out of the audio there, or the video. Yeah, but there's something like I could hear what you're saying, but it wasn't coming out as clean as
Okay, do you hear me now?
Yeah, I think that's better.
Okay. Oh yeah, let me know if it keeps happening.
Yeah, that's good. So okay, I love that. Game night, always a great time. Like you said, it's not really something that we typically do often at all. I feel like the few times we do game nights would be like with the family when, for example, Tante Sherlyn and Oncle Alain, they're big on organizing those. Like whenever we have get-togethers, they have a few games they want to throw in there. I know like it's always a good time to get the competitive juices out, especially when you're getting new games in. That's awesome. What are some of the new games that you've discovered with these game nights?
Well, one of the games was it's either called Frackle or Farkle. I think it's called Farkle. It's like a Yahtzee dice game, but like with an extra dice and really weird point system. That was fun. There's a game. It's an Uno game, but you have Uno numbers on both sides, and one of the cards you can draw, you have to flip your hand over, and the penalties and the cards are like their effects are doubled. So it's really cool. It's hard to explain just on the spot. And then there's another game. It's not like Settlers of Catan, but it's that type of game where you're like accumulating resources and stuff. That like went way over my head at first. What were the other games? Those are just 3 examples. I honestly can't remember all of them because we spent like we wasted a lot of time just picking a game, and I'm like, who cares? Let's just start playing one.
For sure.
And I felt like things could have been improved with we can know ahead of time what the game is, so we don't have to spend time doing the instructions. Because of course, the first few rounds of a new game, I'm like just asking a million questions. I would have been fine just playing the original games, like games we all know and love, but that's fine.
So also with these game nights, like, are we talking? Are there any husbands or boyfriends in the picture? Or is it a strictly female audience, and you're in the mix with them? Like, what are you working with here, Matt?
I'm working with the curling. There's 4 people on the curling team, Mackenzie included. So there's 3 other couples, husband and wife.
That's good.
Yeah, and it's a good mix. Well, no, it's an equal mix, obviously. But like on our curling team, there's 2 men and another girl. So there's 2 girls, 2 guys on the curling team. So it's perfect ratio. We went over to, like, this guy lives in Arnprior, so it's like 8 minutes away from my house, Eric. So it's perfect.
It's ideal, yeah.
Yeah, and they're different personalities, right? Like I thought they're more honestly like me. I thought they were gonna be more, because a lot of them live in the country, but they're really like into pop culture like me, and they make they were more like me than Mackenzie, you know, who isn't necessarily the biggest like trivia and game night person.
Right.
Like she doesn't really get a lot of movie and TV references, but that's fine.
That's why you got a curling team there. All right, good stuff. Love that. It's always fun to like meet some new people, get into different social settings, and a game is always huge. Like, you really get to see what a person is about on the boardroom.
That's true.
Table.
Yeah,
right. The
very. You see a lot about sorry to cut you off. Yeah, you see a lot about someone's personality really comes through during a game, right?
Definitely.
So, yeah,
that's awesome. Love that. So, I guess you guys are alternating who's hosting and stuff.
Yeah, we haven't discussed it, but I'd like to do that, honestly. Just depending on. I mean, I'm a little like, I don't want to drive too far, and I don't want to make the people that live a little further away drive all the time. So I'm down to go to their houses. But yeah, I'd like to alternate. Why not?
Oh, that's cool. I like that. And it's a nice, again, talk about routine, like a new recurring social outing that you can pencil in the calendar every 2 Mondays, let's say, if every Monday is too much. And you always have that to look forward to. It also goes to a point that I've made forever. You don't want to be someone who's always just looking forward to the weekends, right? So if you're doing things on a Monday night, that's a great way to spruce up your week, where you're not just like, oh my God, like the week's just started, like I have 4 more days to grind through. It's like, no, Monday night, let's freaking go. I got Wormspan on deck here. Let's accumulate some dragon eggs and try to get the most docile dragons out here, you know? So I love that. That's great. Yeah, that's actually kind of one that I didn't write it down, but that is something that we do want to do more, Andy and I now, would be like host people, because we have a better setup in the backyard. The barbecue game just continues to get better with time, and segues into the next thing that I did want to talk about is with the garden and these natural resources that we're providing in-house. Something else that I've been doing and want to continue doing is to make things from scratch, or just with different ingredients, rather than buy the sum of its parts. And 2 examples I can give are, I've wanted to make for the longest time, and I've just made homemade mayonnaise and make my own pickles. And let me tell you, the quality is outstanding. Let's talk about the mayonnaise first. I've seen these videos on YouTube forever where you're putting in an egg, some olive oil, a bit of Dijon mustard, a bit of either lemon juice or apple cider vinegar, salt, pepper in this cylinder, and then you take an immersion blender and you start at the bottom, blend, and then as it gets thicker, work your way up until you have this thicketive, creamy white sauce, the mayonnaise, of course, and it just tastes delicious. Doesn't last as long, but the quality and just the smell, like I'm talking about, I'm going out the window to look at my grass. I was going in the fridge every day, popping the lid of this mason jar and just smelling this thing. Like, it just smells unbelievable, and it tastes so much better. So obviously you're not making, it takes a lot of olive oil. Like, that's the big downside. I'd say it's I think either a 1/4 cup or a full cup of olive oil.
Mm.
I don't have the recipe in front of me, but it was a lot of olive oil. So that's where,
Okay.
like, and that's like the currency of kings and queens in 2025. Like olive oil, you're lucky if you're getting one bottle for less than $22.99 out here. So, not something you want to be making all the time. But if you're hosting people for burger night, you best believe I'm making that home mayo from scratch, and you don't want to miss that night, Matt. Let me tell you. So that'd be one. The second one is homemade pickles. Like this has been on my algorithm forever. Finally pulled the trigger. Super easy to do, and there's a ton of ways you can go about it. Either with fresh ingredients like garlic and dill. This time I did not go down that route. Went with water, vinegar, salt, a bit of sugar, and then some pickling seasoning. So the next time I want to make the pickling seasoning from scratch, couldn't find yellow mustard seeds, which was a crucial ingredient. So just went with a pre-made pickling mix. And you let this sit in the fridge for a few days, and the taste just gets stronger and stronger. And the first batch I made, while not perfect, I still found tasted very good. And then the second one, I still used the same brine that I made the first time. I didn't make it again.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a bit watered down, not as strong. And these pickles in the second batch are much more, I think, tolerable and not as strong. A bit more crunchy too. So far they've been outstanding. And again, like I have zero interest in buying pre-made pickles. Because again, there's less preservatives in them. I know what I'm putting in them, and it just tastes better in my opinion. So you buy some mini cucumbers, the Lebanese variation, put those in a big jar, fill it up to the top, and just let the good times roll. So yeah, if you want burgers, I got the pickles and the mayo to provide. So that's the next one.
Oh my god, and those are a must on burgers too for me. I didn't expect pickling stuff. I mean, we get homemade pickles from Mackenzie's grandfather. He does like what you're doing, and he pickles a lot of different things, Eric. So I'm hoping that this is just the start of your pickling game, right? You know, you pickle garlic, carrots, asparagus.
Yep.
You can pickle cheese curds if you want. You can pickle anything. So I can't wait to see like the new exploration in that genre, in that game. I've never pickled anything in my life, so it was interesting hearing you talk about how you were doing it because I have no idea. The mayonnaise, I didn't even know those were like, that's how you made mayonnaise actually, so that's cool. Just making more homemade dressings, like so easy to make, like salad dressings. I wasn't going to talk about this, but I've been making way more homemade pasta salads recently. And they've been like great, super easy to make. Use a ton of vegetables. You know, if I had a garden, I'd be using those. And the dressing is extremely easy to make, common household ingredients, you know. So that's awesome, Eric. And I was going to talk about barbecue, actually. The first thing of what I want to do this summer, and you mentioned your barbecue. Mine is just upgrade my barbecue game in the sense that I don't necessarily only have to be cooking meat on the barbecue. I can do some grilled vegetables, more potatoes. You know, you can cube up some potatoes, put some onion seasoning in a tin foil, and just like let that cook on the barbecue, and it's delicious, lots of flavor. Yeah, definitely upping my whole vegetable game in general this summer, Eric, cooking. I don't want to, like, do I get lazy sometimes and the frozen vegetables come out? Yes. Do I like doing that? No, absolutely not. I don't always also want to just make like a salad. Salad's easy for me to make, like a Caesar salad, but now I want to do like more, you know, stuff, grilled vegetables on the barbecue. Like I mentioned, pasta salad. I don't know why I wasn't doing this sooner, honestly, Eric. It's super easy and affordable. But yeah, just barbecuing more things, not always just chicken and steak. Which is like I get caught into a routine of always doing the same thing, Eric. So I want to explore different things. You just mentioned exploring different things with pickling and making your own mayo. So like I just want to start cooking different food basically and using my barbecue. I've been using my barbecue a lot so far this summer, guys, and it's been very like so convenient, and I make the supper even quicker. It tastes more delicious and yummy. I'm thinking of getting to like stuff to put on my barbecue that will allow me to cook more things on there, and not like a little pan or something, so the stuff doesn't fall through the grills. But yeah, upgrading my barbecue game, cooking game in general, really. But summer's all about barbecue for me, so I feel like we never stop with our cooking game, right? Like exploring it, upgrading it. It's a lifelong skill to have, and you're going to be doing it for the rest of your life, so why not improve at it every year? I feel like every year on the pod, we're bringing up like new things we're doing, and in 10 years from now, like, we're going to look back saying, oh, we were peasants back then just doing this. Now we do all these different things, right? Who knows what you're going to be making homemade, right? Next year or the year after, right, Eric? So it's a fun, food is fun to explore, right?
Episode 183, I'll be talking about the homemade mustard I've made and the pesto and everything. So, and those are definitely on the list for honestly sooner than that. Like, just it's so easy, right? Like, and everything is available to us online on YouTube. I just do a quick search on either YouTube or Instagram. You find like a reel or a YouTube short that shows you how to
Yeah.
make these things in 60 seconds or less. And then from there, you can, if you want to, find a long form version of it for more detailed steps if they're going a little too quick. But you get the gist of it with those shorter videos and then expand from there. So yeah, I would definitely recommend, Matt, to get like a grilling basket for vegetables. That's what we use here. We have like this metallic basket that we just throw all the vegetables in with your seasoning and oil on there. Toss them every other few minutes and they grill up very easily and you don't really have to do much with them. They're not going to fall through the grates, right? So that's a must on the barbecue, honestly. And another plus for the barbecue is way less dishes, right? You're not having to cook in a few pans. The prep is not as much as in on the barbecue, so that's a must for sure. I don't have like a
Well
specific.
said.
Thank you. I don't have like a specific new thing I want to try on the barbecue, but definitely keep using it and try to get better at cooking on there without over. Me, it's always the fear of overcooking certain things, like a chicken, for example. I don't want to, or undercooking, right? The fear of undercooking leads to the potential of overcooking it. So it's kind of finding
Yeah.
that sweet spot where I know, like, okay, I'm right around the temperature it needs to be. Take it off. It's gonna keep heat cooking and the internal temperature is going to get to where you need to be. You don't want to bring it to, if it's 165, don't bring it to 170 because then it'll keep going up to like 180 and then you're chewing on a piece of rubbery chicken thigh and that's no good for anybody. So yeah, that'd be what I got
Yeah.
on barbecuing. Um, yeah, I guess food wise, like I said, pesto is an easy one that I think is easy. I've never made it, but I want to try. More condiments, like if I can make ketchup, like I'd want one day to have the trifecta: ketchup, mustard, mayo. If I can get those three done, I'm a happy camper. More, I talked about a few like a while ago now, like a verde salsa. Like I want to grill up some. Use the food processor. We have more. Actually, that's the other thing. It's would be making like dips. So like a
Okay.
roasted red pepper dip, like a hummus kind of texture, right? Like if you've ever been to the restaurant
Right.
Trophy, I know your sis Isabel's a huge Trophy. Like she put Andy and I onto Trophy, and now we love that
Okay.
restaurant so much. They're well known for their hummuses, their dips, like with pita. So I'd want to make like a roasted red pepper dip in a food processor. That'd be something else. Hummus is hard to make though. Like we've tried a few times and like
Is
it
it?
doesn't come out
Okay.
as creamy as you'd like. It's a tough one, but one day we'll get there. So yeah, that would be it for me on the culinary front. The other one I would say is now this is my first full year with a golf membership at Greyhawk where I'm golfing, and funnily enough, I was listening to an old summer pod like maybe a month ago now, and in that pod I was talking about how my golf game, like I was coming off the worst golf summer of my life, and like I wasn't down on myself, but I was just like not happy with how I played, and my goal was more like, keep a positive attitude. You're just be happy that you're able to go outside, be with friends. This was during like 2021, I think, COVID times.
Okay.
So golf was one of the rare outings we had. Now I'm in a good place in my golf game, and the goal is just to keep achieving new career lows. And coming into this year, my goal was to get a new career low. And in the past 5 days, I've established two new career lows. So I'm pretty
Oh,
happy.
wow.
I'm happy with how that's rolled out. Didn't expect it to be this early to get to where I got to. Now it's just about continue to, it's not about like now I've done this, now like this is the expectation to what I should be getting all the time, but knowing that it's possible and that I've done it does take a certain weight off my shoulders, and that like this isn't as unachievable or that far away that I thought it was. You know what I mean? So it's just keep pushing, reaching new heights, and yeah, hopefully what I shot on May 29th is not the final best score of my golf summer. Just put it that way.
Did you establish like? I'll get into my golf before you tell me what you've established. If you wanna, I'll let you. Just tell us now, Eric. Did you reach like a career low in your score, or were you like the best 9 of your life? Like, what are we talking about here?
Well, I wasn't gonna throw numbers out there. I was just gonna keep it vague. But so it's
whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do.
I'll just say it's both. So on the front 9 was the first time that I shot in the 30s for that.
Wow.
And then full 18, first round in the 70s for me. So I was pretty happy with that.
Wow. Congratulations, Eric. That's awesome.
No, thank you.
I don't even, that's not even in my that's not even in my goals, right? My goal is to like, honestly, like shoot in the 90s, to be honest. Like I've never broken 100, but I've also never really golfed an insane amount, Eric. Like last year was the most I've ever golfed, and it wasn't even that many times. Mm-hmm. This year I hope to be golfing more. I'm not going to talk about, like I've talked about golf in the past, I want to do it more. I don't have that on my list. I'll just say that this year I have new golf shoes, better equipment. I'm excited to get out there. I have a big golf tournament in 3 weeks with work, a best ball tournament. That'll be my first round of the year, and then after that, I know it's gonna kickstart my hunger to go every week, and I'll try to go every week with my dad or so. So that should be fun. Yeah, I haven't gone yet, Eric. I don't know. I haven't been in golf mode yet, but I know once this golf tournament happens, the best ball, just for fun, it's gonna kickstart my all right, I gotta start golfing every week now. Mm-hmm. Congratulations, Eric. Those are crazy milestones, and you're super young still, right? So just imagine in 5 years how much you're gonna improve. So, and the key is to be consistent, right? Do you have a membership this year? I bet you if you have a membership every year, you're gonna just improve so much more. That's great to hear. You've been super consistent, right? Like you've been hitting the ball well, and just quickly, what would be something you're so and need to improve, Eric? Like approach shots, long game, putting. What are your? Did you want to talk about that, or want me to just jump into my next?
No, I could say quickly. It really depends on the round, to be honest. There's no. Every single round it's the same thing that's going well. One round it could be you're not driving well but irons are going and putting is great, and but then your chipping is bad. I'll say this round that I played where I shot my best round ever, everything was going, so there was only lost one ball. So that's the big thing there is if you can keep it in play, it makes it a lot easier to score well. The other thing I'll say is being able to play as much as I already am playing in the year is massive because I'm getting out there way more, and just you get more used to swinging the club. If you're going every 2 weeks, it's almost like you're going for the first time in forever. Even me, if it's been 4 days I haven't golfed, it feels like it's been forever just because I'm going so often. So it just becomes easier. Every hole now, the first hole, for the most part, I don't have any jitters of where's this drive gonna go? I'm confident that it's gonna go relatively straight, decent distance. So it's just really that the old adage that I've heard forever from my dad is, if you golfed more, you'd be so much better, basically, constructively. And it's true. The fact that I'm going minimum 2 times a week has been a big thing. So it just practice makes perfect, in anything, right? So that's where the membership is huge for that. Yeah.
Makes total sense. Do more of something, you're going to get better at it. I love it. But golf can also be super frustrating, right? Where you're I'm still not improving and I give up. But that's consistency is key. I love that too, that you're never hitting the reset button with your golf game where you're all right, I got to taking the first 2-3 holes or the front 9 to just get back in the groove. You're already back there, Eric. I love that. You're already from hole 1, you're ready to go. You haven't lost your anyways, that's awesome. So my next thing I want to talk about, and I've never really done this a lot in my life at all, but it's basically doing like, we're basically camping, and just like sitting around a fire pit and doing outdoor stuff, so sleeping outdoors, camping. Because the reason I bring this up and I want to do more of it is I don't even have to go far. Like literally, like 5 minutes away from my house, Mackenzie's family, they own a lot on the river, a big camping ground. There's like a dock. There's everything you need for camping. There's like picnic tables. There's a trailer there, like barbecue. Like I don't even have to go far, and I could be doing this like every week, and I want to be doing this every week because it's super beautiful. But like stay there overnight too, you know, in a tent. Why not? If it's nice outside, I'd love to do more of that. My outdoor activity game could be a lot stronger, especially considering where I live. I don't have to go far at all. I'm close to my house, you know, easy to bring supplies to and from and activities. But just doing more of that stuff, Eric, swimming in a lake, super fun. That like you remember how to swim freaking fast when you jump in a lake, you know? Like I had to do that 3 years ago when I moved here. Oh my God, you relearn things instantly when there's no bottom. But yeah, even like just getting out. I don't have a boat yet, but Mackenzie's uncles do, and like just getting on the river, fishing. It's really fun to just play outside, you know, frisbee, any of that stuff, camping base. I mean, I love that all under camping, roasting marshmallows. I need to do a lot more of that. It's good for my mind. It's therapeutic, you know, to relax and not always, you know, I like to watch movies and TV. We all know that. Half of our episodes are on shows and movies we watch, which I love to do. But I need to mix that. I need to find a better balance this year with being outside more and relaxing and not being go all the time and feeling like I need to watch all these shows and movies. Because sometimes, like, you know, we do our prep for the end of the year, right? Like we do a little grind, like we power through TV and movies. So, but I need to like stop and hit the brakes sometimes and just like be out for the night outside, no phone or TV watching. So camping, I'd like to do a lot more of. It's a big goal of mine.
Yeah, I like that. And especially during summer, it's an ironic time where like all the bigger movies of the year start to drop in the summer at the time where you really want to be taking advantage of the beautiful time outside, right? So
Yeah.
maybe it's Fear Street Prom Queen one weekend and then the other out on the lake and just reeling in some walleye sea bass. I don't know, but no, I like that a lot. That's so for me of what you listed there. There's a few things that stick out for the camping side. It's the swimming in the lake like, on a hot summer day. That initial shock, like you said, it wakes you up. You don't need the cup of large black coffee, and then once you're in there, you're acclimated to the cool. It feels warm. It's soothing. Throwing the frisbee, the football around, always a good time. You can even get the spike ball net out, little throwback at the bachelor party there. You can throw around for that thing for hours. And marshmallows around the fire pit. Like that's for me, that's the highlight of summer of the camping. I mean, is sitting around sharing warfare stories and just going around talking about what you've done. Like you're talking about life stuff, it's just I could just get lost in the fire for hours, just staring at that orange blaze. It's a great time. But
yeah, with a drink in hand, right, and
there you go.
Just talking while drinking, and you're in a safe environment to drink, right, and you don't have to go anywhere if you're like sleeping in a tent. Yeah, that's huge. I have a freaking fire pit on my property, Eric, and I don't even fully utilize it properly. Like I should be using that every freaking week, and I don't, and I'm ashamed of it. I'm gonna admit it right now. It's embarrassing. What am I doing? Why am I watching Fear Street Prom Queen? That was terrible. Instead of like going outside and just, you know, doing stuff there. You know, I gotta start transitioning out of. I do enjoy watching the TV movies, but like I gotta start like. I'm not like 10 years ago. Like I don't want to be stuck inside on the couch watching a screen, basically.
Yeah, I think in moderation. I don't think there's anything wrong with watching movies, like especially in summer too. Like it's a nice thing. Like the days are longer though, right? So you do get a lot of time outside. Even if you're outside till like 7:30, the sun's still out, so you can still maximize your time out there. and it's like, hey, let's throw something on at 8. Go like it's
Right.
done by 10. You're fine. So I think you can have that perfect balance of both. But it's just I think afternoon movies in the summer not
Mm.
ideal because that's peak
Mm-hmm.
sunlight, right? Vitamin D time. So that'd be
Yeah.
my take on when to watch movies. I think it's fun. Like I look back at when we used to watch like The Great Outdoors, What About Bob, all those movies we'd rent also at Rogers. Those are also always late night movies with the fam. So I think you can have that. You can have both at the same time. We didn't have phones back in the day, right? So we had to play outside.
Right.
We were swimming in the pool for hours, but
Yeah.
that's episode 63 talking, not 159. So I love that. My next one, well, I'll actually just talk about something we've just started redoing. Is my friend got us back into the ultimate frisbee game. My friends and I used to play in
Oh.
this league years ago now. I think like pre-COVID was the last time that we played. We did 3 summers, won 2, got to the finals and lost in the other. So kind of like the Tampa Bay Lightning of 2020 to 2022, and now we're looking to be like the Edmonton Oilers, hopefully of 2025, and get it done again, or for
Yeah.
the first time in a long time. So yeah, ultimate frisbee every Monday night. So like you, Matt, we've got our Monday night activity penciled in. Hour and a half long games though, absolutely
Wow.
criminal. I don't know who came up with that length. When our team captain said that they're 40-minute halves, I was like, my God, like we're gonna be dead by 30 minutes in. But you know, we found a way, and obviously like we're not old by any means, but we looked across the field and you could just see it was this chipper bunch of maybe 22 tops 24-year-old kids just eager to get out on the field. You know they never experienced heartburn, neither have I, knock on wood, but they're just full of energy, ready to roll. And but we took it to them, so we started the season off 1-0, and so far the competition looks good. They're a good team. Hopefully it ends up being like that kind of caliber the whole season, because in the last few years that we did play, we were just murdering teams out there. 15-2. We might have even gotten to the 20
Oh,
bomb
okay.
spot mercy rule at that
Wow.
point. So that's
Right.
just no fun, but this was competitive. We have a few people who have never played before, so there's a learning curve there as well. And it's just fun, meet some new people and get into social setting, physical activity. And then we went out to Royal Oak. And that might be the spot after every other game now to unwind, discuss, and get some complimentary nachos that the league provides for ultimate frisbee players. And we got to the Royal Oak and we saw this other group of guys and girls like in these like mustard yellow shirts, like just a bunch of nerdy looking people. Like, yep, those are ultimate frisbee players for sure. And I'm not judging, I'm one of them, but you can just spot them a mile away. You know an ultimate frisbee player when you come across one. And hey, nothing wrong with that. It's a great time. Don't knock it till you try it. And yeah, it's a very respectful sport too, like because you're playing person to person coverage, so everyone has like a guy or a girl that they're covering, and you kind of end up chatting them up during the game, and it's just fun. Like this guy, we were playing against this guy who was in a sling. His right arm was in a sling, and he was throwing with his left hand, and the guy was unbelievable too. It was like they told us like that's his bad hand too, so I can't imagine this kid, this weapon, if he had both arms. He had a Leafs hat on. I was calling him Austin Matthews, injured all the time, but still performing. So, anyways, we had a good time out there. So yeah, ultimate frisbee, ultimate frisbee. Give it a shot, Matt. I think you'd be good at that too. You got the height.
Uh, I No, the sling story caught me off guard. Okay, it's like this guy shows up in a sling. You're like, okay, this guy must be good because he's willing to play with his left hand and play one-handed. Really,
Yeah.
that's hilarious. You're like, oh shit, we're screwed. Ultimate frisbee, played it in high school. Really liked playing it actually,
Nice.
and is in my experience gets unfairly hated upon. Like
Agreed.
people are always making fun of ultimate frisbee. I'm like, have you played it? Well, no. Well, then you don't know. It's actually a super fun game, strategic. You're playing these like 90-minute like soccer games of ultimate frisbee. That's awesome.
Great.
I did like playing it. I like throwing the frisbee around. Like I'm decent at it. I can throw it straight. And there's a really strategic element, right? Because you can't move. You can do maybe like 1 or 2 steps, right, Eric? And then you like if you don't have the frisbee, you have to be like being fast as an asset and putting yourself in a good spot. I like that whole aspect of like going like throwing the frisbee where the player should be, and that guy's got to run for it. I remember that in high school. There's a cool dynamic there. I don't have anything about sports written on my list, Eric, but like that is something I would like to do. Get back into it could be more casual or maybe more competitive, but getting into an activity like that, penciling it in for one night of the week where it's something I look forward to, where I'm not just waiting for the weekend, like you said. I don't do Taekwondo anymore, so I'm free to do like another physical activity that honestly would probably help me out too. And definitely not soccer. That's too intense. I've played a lot of soccer in my life, and I have hockey for the winter. But something more like high tempo than golf, right? Something that's quicker, in and out in an hour and a half. So that's awesome. I never thought you'd bring this up, like ultimate frisbee. Who knew? But that's awesome, Eric.
Well, stop me if I'm off base or overstepping here, but if ever we need a sub, and I think you're available some Monday nights when game night isn't happening, we'd love to have you, Matt. So, and I'm thinking like maybe even in future years, if you want to be a full participant, like that'd be great. Like we would gladly take you on the team, honestly. You have experience. Again, like I said, the height, you're in shape. I mean, it'll be the easiest sell job to the team captain to bring you on. JP, the guy would welcome you with open arms. So something to revisit perhaps. If the commute isn't too bad too, could be onto something. Let the blue Honda Civic shine in the parking lot.
Well, I'm at least half of those things. I do have the height. I don't know if I'm in shape anymore. I don't really like running all that much. I mean, I've talked about it in the past on the Summer Pod. Me running, I haven't ran this year yet, but honestly, motivation to get back into good physical shape. I'm just gonna go with one last thing. We talk about this subject all the time, but like, I'm still slacking on it, Eric, and it's reading. Going outside to read, but no, reading in general. I've only read one book this year so far. I'm very ashamed of this. Very, very ashamed. I'm going to tell you a little story that ties back into game night. Okay. I'm sitting there on game night in the guy's freaking dining room at the table. He's got a bookshelf nearby. I'm staring at the bookshelf, very interested. He's got like the Fourth Wing, right? He's got that whole set of books that you mentioned, right? Yep. It's the Fourth Wing. That's what it's called, Eric? Yeah. Yeah.
Great books.
And I'm like, I knew you recommended those books to me, right? And honestly, they look pretty cool. I was like looking at the cover and stuff, and I was like, damn, I need to read more, and I need to read this series. I have a book that right now that I'm staring at that I want to read first, but like, why am I not reading more? I have no idea, Eric. It's a goal of mine for this summer to go outside and read. I have like a bench outside I can go read on, and then see that series that you mentioned, I'm like, why am I not reading this? I'll probably love it. So just quickly, my reading game, I want to improve it this summer. Like I said, it's not always about being indoors on the couch. I can go outside and read a book. So less phone time, more reading time.
Love that goal. I'll just address this while we're on the subject, because that was one of the things I had on there. Different point of view for me though, in that I've been absolutely crushing the reading game, and this isn't to put you down while you feel down, but I've been at a record pace here, 24 books so far. Just I might bleep the number out, but I've been on a roll here, so I'm pretty happy with the output. Would like to, and this might be motivation here, Matt, I would like to do like a top 10 books we've read this year pod, if we have the opportunity to do so at the end, like next year, right? So we still have like half the year to bear down, get some recommends in. That's what I would like to do at some point. Yeah. So I think typically reading tends to slow down for me in the summer, but like I said, at the pace I'm going, I want to keep this up, and if I can get to like 50 books, that'd be unbelievable, and it could be doable. So I'm gonna pedal on the gas and keep it pushing. But yeah, reading has been fun, and going outside to read, both our setups with the bench, and I could just pop a chair out on the backyard, read a bit in the sunlight. You kind of kill two birds with one stone. You're not on your phone, you're outside, and you're strengthening your mind's eye. So yeah, reading more is for sure a goal of mine as well. I hear you.
as soon as you said, I don't know if you're going to beat the number. So as soon as you said that number of books that you've read, I instantly said, oh, we like eventually should do a top 5 at the end of the
nice.
year. And you said top, you just thought of it too. So, for sure, like this year, top 5 is like top, maybe an option, but I'd have to get back to you later on. Or we can even do like top 5 books I recommend this year that I've read.
Yeah.
Or just talk about them. I definitely want to hear you talk about your favorite reads this year at the end of the year, Eric, because that'd be really cool to listen to. But like, and also I was just thinking, like, I work 12-hour shifts. I have lots of time on break to read. Like, I could read combined with all my breaks. I could read an hour at work every night, because if you combine all my breaks, it's just over an hour. So that an hour of reading every night is huge. Like, I'm a decent speedy reader, so I could like get a lot done there. I could easily read a book a month. It'd be 12 books. Easily do a top 5 with that. But you're going at a crazy pace, Eric. 20, like, beat the number, but like that's a lot of that's awesome. And I'm sure you're not reading always like a 500 pager, right? So
no.
And you're mixing it up, nonfiction, fiction, maybe, or so that's great to hear.
Yeah,
it's motivation for me, right, to hear that from you. So that's awesome.
That's what I figured as well. Why I thought I'd just throw this braggadocious number out there, which I think I've never even read that many books in a year. So, it's a win-win. Motivation for both, and just something to keep pushing. And yeah, there's a lot of books that I haven't talked about in the pod that I do want to get into a little more when we do our episodes. So, it's something that I've been holding on to for that. In those winter months, people are looking for recommendations. Hopefully some of these books can be a switch up from our hip-hop albums, which I've been tremendously slacking on, movies and TV shows, all that stuff. So I think when we get there, we'll have stuff to talk about for sure. So for me, last few things would be kind of just have a chiller summer too. Like, I know I do get busy with like golf, ultimate frisbee now. Want to go out like on patios and stuff and nice date nights. But overall, I think the goal for this summer and kind of year, honestly, is just to be more chill, focus on like improving some good habits that we already have, making things that are healthy for us, relaxing. Whereas because last year obviously was a crazier year for Andy and myself with all of our wedding prep. So this year is really just relaxing, nothing too crazy in terms of like big travel. We do want to do a trip, keep it somewhere in Canada. TBD where exactly, but overall it's like much chiller summer. Okay. No stress of like, okay, we need to be doing stuff all the time. Like we took this last week off to just really relax, do some stuff around the house, but overall it wasn't a big grind of like, okay, like we got to get all these things done today and blah blah blah. It was like, take it easy for 4 hours if we want to like just watch TV, play video games, whatever. Just kind of have that kind of vibe for the summer is what I'm looking at for this year. So that would be my last few things. And win the Pong tournament again.
I love that you said that, Eric. Less is more, like I always start the summer with writing a list of things I want to like the chores and things I want to do outdoors or around the house. And like this year is all about me not trying to do too much every day, like clean all day or do all these things in one day, and just knock a bit off at a time, because you're more productive that way too, and you're not like, it's not as stressful. So me too, I've been stepping back in terms of, I don't have to cram 20 things in a day, just do 2-3 things, and enjoy the things you're doing, enjoy it while you're doing them too. Some people can see cooking as a chore. I see it as like kind of relaxing and like, oh, okay, I know I'm going to spend the next hour doing this. I'm going to enjoy it, throw some music on. I love writing a list down and then crossing stuff out. That's very rewarding to me. That's like a little technique I use. But yeah, I love that you said that, Eric. We need to sometimes just stop and smell the coffee, in the morning, and not like rush and do something right away. I have to go 8 a.m., go outside and do these things. You can just relax sometimes, read, play a video game for an hour or two. I love that. Yeah. It's good for our mental health, right? So Definitely. That's excellent. Did I know you posted a story on Instagram? Did we get a couple submissions, or I'm very curious?
Yeah, we got a couple. So Andy, she said that she wants to make sourdough is a goal of hers for this summer. So I agree. Also want to help on that journey to make sourdough. It's good. Probably it's the best bread for you to make, really. And we actually just watched a couple of videos this morning before this pod. It looks relatively easy to make a sourdough starter. It's just kind of like with the mayonnaise and the pickles. It's about getting it done, right? So yeah, sourdough. Right. We're big sourdough people, so we figure like, hey, why not just?
Okay.
It's literally flour and water that you're feeding kind of every day for the first few days, and then you can keep some to the side, and as it starts to ferment and bubble up, it's like you can just store that forever basically, and you take pieces off it to make new batches of sourdough. So definitely something that she wants to do, and I support that as well.
Interesting.
So then we got my mom submitted a few. An outing that you can only do in the summer. So patio, picnic, outdoor concert.
Concerts, yeah. I'm severely slacking in that game, going to concerts. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah, actually, Blues Fest, we have a full festival pass for this summer. So going to be looking to go to as many as possible. Sean Paul, there's Shania Twain, Green Day, what's his face, Hosier, Kate Renata, just off the top of my head here, Eazy. Just want to be going to see as many as possible, maximize that pass that we got, and like it's always a good time out at Blues Fest, so I agree. And then my coworker Rosalind, she submitted enjoy the outdoors more, so hike, go swimming in the lake/river, lots of barbecues and salads, so all great picks.
Yeah, we touched on that.
Yeah.
Hiking's cool. We didn't talk about hiking, but like, yeah, it's always a fun activity.
Yeah, hiking is fun. Hard to get around to in our parts, right? Like there's kind of like the Gatineau Park that's available. Otherwise, unless you're driving out to Tobermoor or northern sections of Ontario, not as much available, but always love a good hike. That's a mental health palate cleanser for you if you ever needed one. So yeah, great picks.
Yeah.
So those were our submissions from the people. Thank you very much. Anything else you wanted to touch on, Matt, for the summer, or I'm good to hop in a few recommendations?
No, I think I've covered everything I want to talk about for summer. I can jump into a couple recommendations. Are you good for summer, Eric? Or
yeah, I'm pretty. Like I said earlier, I don't know if you caught under my breath there, but I'm just looking to win another Saloon Bros beer pong tournament this summer.
Okay.
Missed the RSVP there, Matt. Will we be seeing you in attendance?
Yeah, I know. As soon as you mentioned that, it like popped in my head. I'm like, yeah. No, I'll get on that. No, we will. Like,
good.
I haven't even talked to Mackenzie about it. It's like June. What's the date, Eric?
Not even sure.
Well, hopefully it's not the 21st of June.
I think it's in July, to be honest.
Okay, that's probably why I dismissed it, because it wasn't coming up immediately in June.
July 26th.
Dismissed it in terms of like it. Okay, July 26th. Okay, yeah, no, that's great. No, I want to come. I missed last year, so
Same.
No. Yeah, that's right. I was gonna say, because I didn't hear. I don't remember you talking, but okay, cool.
No, it was a smaller scale event. They didn't have the Diamond Dogs in contention.
In attendance. And this is the 10, right? This is Saloon Beer Pong X.
Year X,
10.
Fast X.
Year X. I love it.
Jason Momoa might make a cameo.
All right. First recommendation. I think you brought it up last week or last episode. I'm pretty sure you did. The TV show Your Friends and Neighbors.
Yep.
Did you bring that up last time? Yes. So I'm almost done. I'm on episode 6. Okay. 3 more to go. I'm loving it, Eric. Mackenzie and I are actually both loving the show. I knew I had a feeling I liked the show, and I wasn't sure about her, but she's like, no, this is interesting, cool characters. Never really seen John Hamm in anything, but I'm like, I love Mad Men, so I could watch him in any TV show now. Really good show, Eric. The writing, it's funny, but like you said, it's not a comedy, but like I'm laughing my ass off. Cool world in terms of like the rich people, but they're rich, but they're never like they're not happy. They're always competing with each other, and all these people have money, but they're still like there can still be poor in a sense, right? And they're always like, you see that with some of his friends. It's really cool to see that world. You know, I'm kind of like sometimes disgusted by some of the things I see on the show. You know, with like he's stealing stuff, and it's like, who has this lying around in their house, right, Eric? So, really cool show. I don't know where it's gonna go. Like, have you finished the season, Eric? Like, does it go?
Yeah, so I actually have like 15 minutes left in the finale.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I don't know if they're gonna open the door for a second season or not, because anyways, you'll see as you go along. Like there's a lot going on, right? Like there's a lot of characters that have their own mini storylines as well. So where I'm at, there's still stuff that's not resolved. So I don't know if they want to leave some things unsolved for season 2. But so have you seen then the college episode when the parents like Coop and Mel bring their kids to college, like to Princeton? Have you seen that episode?
No, I haven't.
So that might be the
ring
next
a bell.
one. Then. I'm assuming that's the next episode.
Okay.
But that was a good one. It had a lot of like relatable stuff in a sense where I like when John Hamm, he does get a little more personal because he plays this like super cool, like, oh, Coop, like he's the man basically.
Right.
But then he kind of, when he lets you into what he's dealing with and holding on to, it makes for like he becomes a more human character, and I like those moments. And yeah, there's a lot of great characters in the show. Like even the sister Allie, like I like her where she kind of goes. There's good stuff with her. Not a Nick Brandes guy whatsoever. I'm like, how did this guy play in the NBA? He's like 6'3", tops. And like he's walking around next to these guys. He's barely taller than them. I'm like, unless this guy was like Steph Curry, I just don't see it. But
right.
And the last thing I'll say, the actor who plays Barney, so like his his money guy, he was in the show Warrior, which I recommended a few years ago, and he was amazing in that show. Like he was a hilarious character in that show. He kind of plays like a independent broker between the different gangs, because if you'll recall in the show Warrior, it's a bunch of like mafia families, like Vietnam or Asian families, and he's kind of the middleman, giving them weapons and like playing both sides essentially. So he's like a very smart, slippery, and funny character in that show, and I'm loving his character in this show as well. Who are you liking? Like you're a Coop guy, or do you like Barney?
I'm definitely a Coop guy, but I do like Barney a lot actually. Yeah. Even like I'm not a fan like the X and Nick. Yeah, they're interesting characters, but I'm not a fan of. I like the kids. Their kids are okay. I can take them or leave them.
Yeah.
The sister I'm a big fan of. His entourage is cool. I like the maid that helped and that ends up helping him.
Yeah, she's good.
What's her name?
Yeah, I don't know. Elena's
her name. Yeah, that's why I remember, because it's Mackenzie. It's Mackenzie's daughter's name. Actually, how did I forget that? But and like the lady he goes to see at the pawn shop, like Lou. Yeah, like that's an interesting. What I like I said, just I recommend the show. Strong characters in the writing, and I love the narration by John Hamm. It's a nice touch right there. So I recommend that show to everyone, your friends and neighbors.
Nice.
I have 2 more movies. Eric, did you want to just jump in before I get into them? Or?
Yeah, I'll just fire off. Like we recorded our last pod like a week ago, so I haven't really gotten a chance to take anything new in. But I have been just on a bender of watching the Mission Impossible movies. I had never seen number 3. That was a really good one. One of my favorites, I would say, with Philip Seymour Hoffman as the villain. What I liked a lot about that movie is that it kind of just throws you in at the end of the movie for like at least 5 or so minutes. So you're getting it's an intense scene, urgency, sets the tone with Philip Seymour Hoffman as the villain who's in control. And a sense of like, if you don't do what I want you to do, I'm gonna kill your wife, basically. It's not a spoiler, but so that was really good. And then I rewatched Rogue Nation and Fallout, which I don't know why, but the first time I watched Rogue Nation, I didn't like it really. I thought it was kind of meh, but I loved it the second go around. It's one of my favorite ones in the series. And then I rewatched Fallout, which clearly the best movie in the franchise, like no questions asked, in my opinion anyways.
Okay.
All the characters are unreal. The action is off the hook, pun intended with the hook, but it gets kind of unbelievable in the end, but I don't even care. Like, this is the stuff you sign up for in a Mission Impossible movie, right? So, yeah, I mean, all the characters, Henry Cavill, Rebecca Ferguson, Vanessa Kirby, huge additions to this cast.
Yeah.
Obviously, Rebecca Ferguson is in Rogue Nation, but really good in Fallout as well. Henry Cavill, like, it's one of my favorite roles of his in any movie I've seen him in. He was so good in this. And yeah, Ethan Hunt, like, the Mission Impossible franchise is becoming one of my favorite action franchises as I'm just ripping through them. They're so fun. Yeah, do you know what's going to happen sometimes? Sure. But the scale to which they do these action set pieces is so sick to watch that you're just loving the ride, right? You know he's going to cut the wire with 0.4 of a second before the bomb goes off. You don't even care. You're fired up to see it, right?
Yeah.
So, and yeah, Luther and Benji are great as well.
Yeah.
Great movies. If you've never seen them, like, strong recommend. Rogue Nation, Fallout, really good.
I have only seen Rogue Nation and Fallout at the theater, like, and I remember loving them, so I'm sure I'd love them on rewatch. Mackenzie's never seen them, so I want to rewatch them with her and her for the first time. I love that these movies, they're built around these giant, like, Tom Cruise stunt action set pieces, but, like, there's still a cool story and intrigue, and the pacing in the movie is always good. The last two movies have been a lot longer. I haven't watched Final Reckoning yet, but I know it's like almost 3 hours, and Dead Reckoning was pretty long too, but never boring in my opinion. This is what I thought, like, the James Bond franchise after Casino Royale never had the heights, I think, of this Mission Impossible new franchise, because Mission Impossible kind of had a period of nothing after between 3 and 4, and then, like, 4 came out with a bang and was like, all right, and then I feel like they kept improving after each movie. You know, Rogue Nation was better than 4. 6, Fallout is better than Rogue Nation. But arguably, maybe Fallout, like you said, you're liking it more than Dead Reckoning, right? So
for sure.
I think Fallout has better pacing, right? Like, it's a shorter, tighter movie, faster pace. Dead Reckoning is long, too. No, I love Tom Cruise movies. Eric, big action guy. Love Tom Cruise, too, in action movies. Like, I can't wait to watch the new one. I like that you're running through them beforehand, right? You haven't watched Final Reckoning, right? I'm correct? I don't remember reading a review of that.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
I'm like halfway through Dead Reckoning Part 1, because like you said, it is pretty long. I will say, unless the back half really hooks me back in, I'm not as high on it as I was in the theater. I think it's not as good so far anyways on rewatch.
Okay.
And factor as to why is... So far, anyways, it's like this big cat and mouse game to find the two halves of the keys. Remember, like, to unlock the entity. And it's a cat and mouse on cat and mouse on cat and mouse game where Tom Cruise is chasing Haley Atwell, who is being chased by the Italian police, who is being chased by the CIA agent played by incompetent Shea Wigham, who, if you need, like, an incompetent secret intelligence agency officer, you hire this man. He's the guy for the job. Fast and Furious and this movie. I swear there's a few others too. And on top of that, they're being chased by, now the actress's name I forget, the girl who plays Mantis in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. She's chasing them, and it's like, it's way too much. I am not liking her character at all right now. She's over the top, just this mad woman on a psychopath bender trying to kill them, essentially. And then behind her is Gabriel, who is being sent by the entity. So it's just a bit too much of a chase scene constantly. And Haley Atwell, like, holy smokes, she keeps double-crossing Ethan, who's trying to save her life. She left him for dead a couple of times, and then, spoiler alert if you've ever seen the movie, I can't believe he chooses her over Rebecca Ilsa in, like, at the end of the movie, where Gabriel's like, yeah, you have to choose between one of these two, and he goes for the girl who tries to kill him like 2 or 3 times. It makes absolutely no sense, and I swear to God, the only reason they did that is because they're like, okay, let's get some new life in this franchise with Haley Atwell over Rebecca Ferguson. Completely disagree with that decision, and this is a preview of what I'm going to be writing about in my review, Matt. But anyways, that's how I feel about Dead Reckoning Part 1.
All right. honestly, all this criticism is warranted. I can't disagree with it because it's not a perfect movie, like I said. Fallout a much tighter pacing and
Oh
story, and fun and Dead Reckoning being so long, it's only part one of the whole big story. Like it's going to be a 6-hour story at the end of the day, so very ambitious. Are you tired of this trope of like AI taking over the world? Like AI is going to ruin stuff. Like it's yeah. Go ahead.
So that's another point against Dead
Yeah.
Reckoning being not as good as Fallout and Rogue Nation, because Rogue Nation and Fallout are the same way as Dead Reckoning and Final Reckoning are. They're two halves of one longer story, basically. Where
Right.
Fallout, yeah, the scale is massive, but it's not this like artificial intelligence knowing what everyone is thinking before they even think it, what they want to do. It's a bit more believable where they wanted to, like the Syndicate led by Solomon Lane, great villain also,
Mm-hmm.
where he kind of wants to reset the world order and get a lot of different like plagues going basically to again like his end game is kind of crazy too. Like I wasn't the craziest about it, but I liked it more than this faceless entity that is calling the shots from a submarine underneath the Arctic Sea, right? And then they're
Yeah.
sending out their angel Gabriel to do their work for them. I don't know. Like I'm not done the movie yet, but not as captivating as what we were seeing in Solomon Lane and John Lark in Fallout. Much stronger villains
Right.
from what I just saw, anyways. So yes, all that to
Very
say,
well
I am
said,
tired
Eric.
of the artificial intelligence plot to take over the world.
Right. It's like every era of action movies had their villains, right? You know, the Russians in the '90s, the Middle Eastern villains in the early 2000s.
Right.
Now it's now it's robots. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
of the times. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
good time capsule, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you're going through the franchise. It's fun to read your reviews and like
Thank you.
retrospectives are always fun, right? We should do like that's a great idea for episode. Like we binge watch a franchise. We announce it ahead of time, and then we give ourselves time, and then we just like retroactive. Oh, did this franchise age well? Did this age well? Yeah, I like listening to that stuff myself. So, I watched two movies that I'm gonna recommend. The first one is Alex Garland's Warfare. He co-directed this one and co-wrote it with someone else. I forget the other guy's name, but
Ray Mendoza.
this is a good double feature. There, yeah, Ray Mendoza. Good double feature with Civil War. Warfare is a short movie. It's like 90 minutes. It's just like taking an hour or two into the lives of this platoon squad and Navy SEALs. Or no, they're U.S. No, they're SEALs, I believe, or U.S. Marine. Doesn't matter. But it's like 1 to 2 hours of their life in the Middle East in 2006. I think Iraq or Afghanistan. Man, I'm terrible with the details right now. But anyways, it's very detail oriented and going through all like their procedures on what they're going to be doing in this movie, which is like securing a position, and then they're under attack and they have to like retreat a little bit. This movie's more lighter on the story and more on like the technical and suspense of it all, and there's some cool action scenes. It's a very minimalistic war movie, Eric.
Gotcha.
It's not epic. It's not like it's almost anti-war in the sense that it's not glorifying anything. This movie it does a good job. Everyone's identifiable under like their uniform, because like, you know, you put a bunch of guys like in Black Hawk Down, you can't identify any of the actors because they're all like white guys in uniforms, camo uniforms. This one does a good job of like, this is this character, that character. You have actors that we know like Will Poulter, Joseph Quinn. Faces you'd recognize, other faces too. I don't know the actor's name. Like the guy in Daredevil who plays Mayor Fisk's assistant, his ambitious assistant. Yeah, he's in there. I'm like, hey, there's that guy.
Which one? Like Buck or like Joseph Gandolfini, like James Gandolfini's son?
Oh, that's who it is. Holy shit. You just blew my mind. It's definitely Gandolfini's son.
Yeah.
100% has to be him. Oh my god, I had no idea.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot more sense actually.
Yeah.
I see it now.
For sure.
Damn. Okay. I know he's in that Many Saints in Newark movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the prequel movie to Sopranos. Oh
Yep.
shit. Okay. Love it. You know, it was an interesting movie, Eric. Very quick to watch, right? Like you're not investing that much time in it. So, but like it's like Civil War in the sense that like it's not a super big scale movie, very minimalistic. So Warfare. The last thing I'm going to recommend is an old classic that everyone should watch. It's a psychological thriller, maybe even a horror movie called The Vanishing. I believe you can find this on YouTube,
Oh,
or even Googling the movie title and writing like full movie. You can find a good stream of it. This movie is a Criterion Blu-ray, and it's readily available online with
nice.
subtitles. It's a Dutch movie, but there's also a lot of French. So The Vanishing from 1988. It's about a couple traveling. The girlfriend or wife disappears at a gas station. We don't know what happened. It flashes for 3 years later, and then the husband starts receiving notes from the serial killer slash like kidnapper, and he's still like trying to wonder what happened. It's about this disappearance. The movie has a lot of narrative jumps where we're having the perspective of the killer for about 30, 40 minutes, then it's jumping back to the husband. There's a lot of like time gaps in there. It's a very interestingly structured movie. Um, Very realistic, and it makes you think like all the little things that could happen in your life where you've like close calls with situations like this. Because this movie isn't like super out there in terms of, it's very grounded in reality. This movie, that's what I want to say. That's the horror and psychological aspect of the movie. This could happen in real life very easily. We see scenes of even like the kidnapper like rehearsing and practicing and failing at trying to kidnap someone. It's really weird, like seeing those scenes. Like he's struggling to do what he wants to do. He's a really deranged, and he's actually a family man. I'm not ruining, like you see that early on in the movie, but the last half of this movie is very like jarring, and it takes turns you wouldn't expect it to go, Eric. And the ending of The Vanishing is very infamous, and for its twist ending and what happens. I'm not going to go into it, obviously, but I recommend the movie to everyone. It's from 1988, The Vanishing. They remade it with Kiefer Sutherland, I think, in 2004, or in the 90s, actually. They had a Hollywood remake, of course, and I heard that they changed the ending and made it all like more lighthearted, but the original Dutch French production is great, Eric. And it honestly looks like you're watching a movie from the 60s or 70s. It's shot like old school style. It doesn't feel like a movie from 1988. But I recommend that to anybody who likes world cinema. Watch the movie The Vanishing. You can easily find it online out there, or buy the Criterion Blu-ray like I have, and it's awesome.
I'll be most likely taking a page out of Dallas's book and YouTubing it or Googling it and finding it online, as I see that he was inspired by your viewing to watch it as well. Love to see the Matt recommend on Letterbox rings truer than any out there. But
Okay.
yeah, so this does sound interesting. It sounds like a kind of eerie watch and
Yeah.
unsettling at times even, but I'd definitely be interested in watching this for sure. And for Warfare, kind of same thing. It's been on my radar as a 2025 must watch as well. So yeah, Alex Garland last year's Civil War. I like that one a lot, and it wasn't your traditional thought as to what the movie would be, in that we're just thrown into the middle of a civil war within the United States of America. But you're not. It's not about the war itself. It's kind of about the journalists covering it and their experiences through moving through the states all the way to the White House. So I'm sure Warfare offers like a similar different look to what it's like in the life of a soldier as what you'd expect, where it's just like I thought it was more focused on the warfare and the acts of war that would happen while you're at war. So yeah, I think it's coming to Prime Video in a few weeks, so I'll check it out at that point for sure. So I know two good recommends, Matt, and I didn't have anything else honestly. Like I said, I just had the Mission Impossible movies that I've been watching, and next time should have some more to offer up. But that is all for me.
Yeah, that's all for me too, Eric. Yeah.
All right, good stuff. It's had a lot of fun, Matt, going over the summer plans and what we look to accomplish this in the next few months. Any final notes for the listeners?
So thank you everybody for listening. I hope we've given you some good recommendations, and you can go out there and try some of them, and that you're enjoying summer and doing your own plans too. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you everybody who submitted an answer. I really appreciate it. I love discussing it. And yeah, thank you for listening and enjoy your summer.
Well said, Matt. So yeah, thanks a lot everybody for listening. Stay tuned for episodes dropping every 2 Mondays. Continue, enjoy the warm months, the summer, the vibes, and peace.